Hi, today we're going to do a mesocosm. The first thing we need is a container. Then we need the plant, some rocks, and the activated carbon.
After that, we need to prepare our mesocosm first by putting all our rocks inside the container. This part is one of the most important as these rocks are going to serve as a filter for our plant. The second step is to place a bed of activated carbon over our rocks. In this case, our activated carbon comes in a peel form. So we will place 10 of these peels over the area. It's very important for you to count them so that the amount of this carbon does not exceed the normal amount required and needed for life and for the plant to grow healthy. After that, we need to place some soil. We will need some soil. This just to separate the carbon activated from the plant. This is important so that the plant doesn't have a direct contact with it and that it can absorb the most nutrients in soil. This soil has to be a special soil which contains special nutrients which will allow the growth of the plant during the next 3 months, which will be the period in which we will develop this experiment. After placing some soil over our peels and over our rocks, we will have to place the most important part of the mesocosm, the plant. But before that, you don't have to be afraid of cutting a bit of these parts from your plant so that it can grow and the bad parts of it don't go inside the mesocosm or the broken parts if your plant is damaged. However, you can also place it as you want, but in this case our plant is a bit old, so we need to do this so that it can grow better and faster. Now, after cutting some pieces of our plant, we will place it inside the mesocosm. For this is very important for you to be very careful with it and with the container.
Then, after we have our plant, we have to water it in order to make it be alive and grow. Okay, finally, we have to close the mesocosm and we have to maintain it closed in a place where it doesn't receive too much light in order to avoiding its death and to stay alive approximately for 6 months. That's the approximated time it must live if it is maintained in these conditions. Thank you.
The first week, our plant died. Unfortunately for us, we didn't predict this. However, before giving up, something unexpected happened. So before we quit the experiment, we saw something green growing in our container. So it gave us hope for the experiment to work correctly, which indeed was correct. In the third week, our plant was bigger and seemed a little bit more green. However, we think this happened because of the sustainability of the plant, as we changed it from ecosystem to the inner ecosystem of the container where it was able to breathe and get the same amount of water which already had in the exterior.
During week 4, the plant suddenly developed really fast, and even though it was a thin stem, The plant grew really tall to the top of the container. Then, in week 5, our plant started dying again, and unfortunately, it was going down to the soil, as in the first week. This was possibly due to the organic material stored in the previous plant. Finally, today, November 17th, now that we opened our container, we saw a little growing plant which seemed really healthy and really green.
In conclusion, there are different several conditions which happen inside the Mesocosm affecting the plant which we planted at the beginning. The plant also, as it undergoes different conditions, it can have a variation in its sustainability, which affect its development and the life it used to live. So, in order to change this, it has to adapt and evolve, probably dying to develop again, in which it allows us to see different generations which the plant had to undergo to finally be sustainable, which gave us an uncertainty behind the conditions which might have led to this. However, we predict that the next generation of plants which will grow, it will last longer and will be more sustainable than the previous ones.